But after 14 days, that is a very severe conditions, and this can lead to the multiple organ failure. Now, this is a course of the disease, but when we talk about the treatment of the disease, still there is no specific treatment for this. Nowadays, trials are also there, and some predictions are also there that some antiviral drug can be worked on, and they can provide some relief to the symptoms. That's why the people who are getting treatment, they are giving the multiple therapies, and this therapy they are giving antiviral also, monoclonal antibodies. In case of antiviral, we have ribavirin, lopinavir, rotinavir, and in one one which is given as more important is the remdesivir. This remdesivir is providing some better result as compared to other antivirals. We are also trying this tocilizumab, which is a monoclonal antibody that is also used for the treatment of this coronavirus. I will not say treatment, or we can say the management. And there are some broad spectrum antibodies. They are also employed for the treatment. Nowadays, the focus is also shifted on this convalescent plasma therapy, in which the plasma of the treated patient is given to the COVID patients, so that they are, because the treated person, they are having antibodies in their blood, and these antibodies can be given to the patients so that they can develop some antibodies and some positive results can be there. And along with this, high flow nasal cannula or the non-invasive mechanical ventilation, these are some of the options. I'm not saying that these are the treatment, these are some of the options which are tried. That's why there is a lack of non-specific treatment, and all of these are just the options which are utilized for the treatment. Now we come to the vaccines. As we know that everybody is talking about these vaccines, will have some vaccine. Even the Italy has claimed that they have designed the vaccine and it is into the phase 3. Now the Israel has also said 2 weeks before that they are already in the final stages, or they have developed this vaccine which can treat this COVID. But now, until and we don't have this all these product into the market, we cannot say that we are able to control, or we are able to treat these infections. Now, if we know that one thing is that there is lack of treatment options, and what we are having in our hand, the person, as you know that the person who are, you can say, aged or who are immunocompromised, specifically the cancer patients because they are immunocompromised, as well as the patients who are having some comorbid conditions, for example, that the diabetic patients or the hypertensive patients. These patients are considered as much more prone to the infections. That's why if we consider the data, there are more than 39% of patients which have become the victim of the disease, they were in this group. Either they were having some comorbidities, or aging was a very significant factor. In case of Italy, there was 52% of population was in, you can say, the senior citizen, or they were the more than the 60 years of age, and they were also having this type of conditions. And the reason for this thing is that these patients or these group, whether they are having some comorbidities or they are the aged person, the condition is that they are the immunity of the or immunity of the patients has little bit decreased. As we know, due to the aging or due to the certain conditions, because if you are diabetic, hypertension, so many medications, or even in case of cancer, also the drugs which are given, they are having immunosuppressant effect. That's why immune system is compromised. So that's why that if we cannot treat the virus as such, what we can do, we can simply boost up the immunity. And for boosting the immunity, we can use this immunomodulator. As you know, that immunomodulator may be any substance which of synthetic or biological reason, or which can sometimes stimulate. Why we use this modulator word? Because modulator is a combination of stimulant as well as suppressant. But now, if we talk about the boosting of immunity, we will talk about the immunostimulant only. And there are certain qualities or certain characteristics of the immunomodulator. First thing is that, okay, that it should produce a specific effect, and it should be able to generate the immune response. And other effects, as you can see on my slide, that it should be compatible. And more important is that it should be inexpensive, because if we talk about the world population, except the developed country, developing world people are having a very major issue with the cost of expenditure or with the cost of treatment. That's why this is considered as one of the most important factor. It should be inexpensive in nature. Now, considering this fact, as we know that most of the population in the world is dependent upon the phytopharmaceuticals or the products which can be generated from the plant origin. We can say that now the focus has been changed on the part of pharmaceuticals. And there are so many reasons, so many factors for this also. First thing is that these are considered as are having less side effect. I'm not saying that they are devoid of the side effect. Comparatively, these are having lesser side effect or negligible side effect. Moreover, the cost is again a factor. And another thing is that if we talk about our ancient literature or our ancient science, these plants were the only source of treatment for the diseases. So that's why these phytopharmaceuticals, they has been into use since ages, and now the focus is also given to these drugs so that these phytopharmaceuticals can be the part of first line therapy. As we know that these phytopharmaceuticals, they are able to produce their effects, they are effective also. Moreover, the side effects are also very less. That's why this nowadays these phytopharmaceuticals are given a very good, you can say, advantage, and that's why they are used. Now, I will come to this. There are so many phytopharmaceuticals. I just want to give the brief introduction. For example, that we know that there are so many phytopharmaceuticals. I'm not saying that these are very much different, which you don't use on your daily basis. These are the basis of your common diet, and some of these are the part of your food also. And you know that these Indians are considered throughout the world that we eat lot of spicy food. Spicy doesn't mean that we are using chili in that. It means that we are using so many spices. And these spices has been the part of our food habits since ages. These spices are not used just to add the flavor or just to add the taste into the food. They are having so many medicinal effects. So, if we talk about these things, so we can say that we Indians are far ahead of all the people who are talking about this these days about the phytopharmaceuticals, or are talking about the herbal drugs for the treatment of disease. We can say that we have already achieved this type of level that these plants are the part of food habit. Why I'm saying all these things as a food part, or the, you can say, part of our daily schedule or the daily routine. Because if we know these plants, these are very common to us and they are very near to us, and they are the part of daily habits also. I will just simply say, I will simply name the plants which are there or which we are using. But the thing is that we don't know how much effective these plants are, or for which purpose they have been used. For example, if we talk about this osmium sanctum, this is called as the king of plants or the mother medicine of nature. Nowadays, as you know, that there are so many advertisements into the television also, that Tulsi is there, and every, you can say, even the elders of the family, they also say that you should have Tulsi or this into your tea, or is into the green tea also. The reason for saying all these things is that this tulsi or the Osmium sanctum is called as a mother medicine of nature. Not only this, you can say that it is adding tea to the tea or the other drinks. It is having so many important medicinal properties also. For example, this is one of the very significant immunostimulant. It can produce very good stimulant effect. Moreover, nowadays we can say that this is a very strong antioxidant. And one more term which is used for this tulsi is that it is also called as the adaptogen or the anti-stress agent. Means ki along with the increase in of the immunity, this is producing anti-stress also and antioxidant also, because nowadays the research is also focused on the antioxidants, because antioxidants, they are culprit or they are the factor responsible for the many diseases. Now if we can use this type of plant, or if we are using this tulsi into our daily food habits, so we can say ki we will have a good immune system, or we can boost up our immunity. Now another one is Vidania somnifera, that is also called as the ashwagandha, and this is the part of Indian traditional system. Indian traditional medicinal system has given it is a very good advantage. Almost many formulations, Ayurvedic formulation, as well as Unani or this homeopathic formulation, they are having ashwagandha in their part. I'm not saying that only the medicinal product, but if we talk Vidania somnifera as such, ashwagandha as such, it acts as adaptogen as well as vitalizer. And there are so many active constant into it. For example, alkaloids are there, saponins are there. This can also encounter the infections by increasing the WBC count, bone marrow. It can stimulate the bone marrow also, and it is also having some anti-cancer effects. And there are, you can say, latest research also indicates that it is produced into its effect by the suppression of NF-kappa B, as well as suppressing the tumor necrosis factor. It is also increasing the CD8 or CD4 cells. Overall, we can say that it is producing a sound effect into the immunity. Now, along with this is our daily diet. We can say curcuma longa, and curcuma longa is not a part of only Indian medicinal system, but it is also well placed into the China pharmacopy of China, as well as other Asian countries, just like Japan and Korea. And this curcuma longa is indicated for wide range of disorder, wide range of disease. For example, in case of China, they are administered into orally for the skin allergy, urticaria, as well as other inflammatory conditions. But curcuma longa is having very important effect into the Indian medicinal system also. For example, like if we talk at the household level, now if you are having any, you can say, wound is there, this is a common saying by our elders that you should add some haldi into your milk, and if there is any wound, it is said that you just make a paste of the haldi, you can place at your wound. It is having wound healing activity, and moreover, this is also a very strong immunomodulator. Immunomodulator, as well as you can say this immunostimulant. Scientifically, if we talk about that, it also increases the level of cytokines, other this transcription factor, which are related with the immunity as well as inflammation. And this haldi is a part of our regular food habit. For example, that we don't make any vegetable without the use of this haldi. Even in so many food, we add this. That's why we can say that indirectly we don't know that which system is working for our strong immune system. These are the factors which are responsible for our strong immune system, this curcuma longa, and you can say other things which we are using in our daily food habits. And another thing is Azadirachta indica. As we can say, okay, this is neem. Everybody know that, and this is a very strong insecticide activity. And the arc of the neem, or you can say that in the Ayurveda it is mentioned that the leaves of the neem, if these are boiled into the water, and they can be good insecticidal, they can control the infections also. And this is used in several conditions, for example allergy conditions also. That's why this United Nations has declared as neem the tree of the 21st century. And this umbilical officinalis, this is one of the strong source for the immunomodulation. For example, nowadays this is a season of the amla also. This is a very strong or very rich source of vitamin C. And with a very rich source of vitamin C, we can say that vitamin C is a very strong antioxidant. And as I told you that this oxidative stress is a major factor responsible for many diseases. If you can have all type of this amla, the daily ingestion of amla, whether in the form of crude amla as such, if you can use the fruit, this is a very strong immunostimulant. And this amla is also the part of this triphala, because triphala is a very common Ayurvedic formulation, and it is used for certain conditions. You can say that inflammatory conditions also, and it is can also be used as immunosuppressant, specifically into the arthritic patients, because it can control some autoimmune disorders. Ingestion, or you can say that simply eating of amla, is very good for boosting the immunity also. And next one is this Glycyrrhiza glabra licorice, जिसे हम हिंदी में मुलट्ठी बोलते हैं. मुलट्ठी is called as. There are certain constraints which are present into this, for example, triterpenes, saponins, and all these things. And this is one of the promising immunomodulatory drugs. And this is a very common herb which is present in almost all the household. It is used for this immunostimulant reactions. Nowadays, that is a very common predictions that if you are having some cough, cold, or sore throat, if you are simply chewing this glycerize or licorice, that will produce some soothing effect, or it can control the cough also. For example, one formulation is also there into the market that is called as tablets are there, which are chewable tablets. These are used for the treatment of sore throats, cough, as well as cold. Now, another one, this is called as the garlic. Everybody is aware of this garlic, and garlic is a very important part of our food habits, and that is responsible for the immunomodulation. If I show you this type of things, that why we talk about this garlic, as you know that it is a very strong immunomodulator, as well as it is having anti-hyperlipidemic effect. And these are some of the factors why with which this garlic is producing its effect. For example, it stimulates macrophages, lymphocytes, natural killer cells, dendritic cells, as well as the eosinophils. Moreover, this also increases the levels of immunoglobulins, for example, IgG, IgE. The level of this is increased. That's why if we are taking one you can say one slice of this garlic early in the morning, or you can say empty stomach with some lukewarm water, it is able to control the lipid level also, as well as it produces significant immunomodulating effects. Now, next one is gingiber officinale. Now, gingiber officinale, as you know, that everybody is taking this gingiber. Now, this is considered as a great medicament into the Ayurvedic medicines. And Moreover, it is one of the safest medicines. As you know, that this ginger officinalis, if you combine this with simple honey, it can be used to treat this sore throat, cough, as well as cold. These are some of the common use which are mentioned into the Ayurveda as well as into the Chinese medicine and Korean medicines also. Along with this you can say this soothing effect, it is also helpful in increasing the immunity. It also increases humoral as well as cell mediated immunity. This is also antiplatelet, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, anti-worm, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidative activity also. Simply, if you are taking this gingiber simply if you are chewing the gingiber, or if you are taking the, you can say, juice of gingiber with the honey, or simply if you are using gingiber into the tea also, you can have all the beneficial effects of this ginger. Next is Tinospora cardifolia. This is called as the Gudici also. And in this, we have the Tinosporin as a active constituent, and it is also used for this hepatoproductive effect. Along with this, most of the significant effect is this, that is a immunomodulator also, and that is also a very common herb which is used into the Indian medicine system. Next one is aloe vera, and if we talk about the aloe vera, we can say that nowadays everybody know about the aloe vera just because of its effects onto the skin system, but not only it increases skin, or you can say this type of diseases, that is also having a very significant food healing activity. It is responsible for the elevation of IL-1, TNF alpha also, and as well as if we are combining aloe vera with this antiretroviral therapy, the results are found to be very synergistic in nature. And these were some of the herbs which we are commonly using into our life. But if we talk about some spices, as I told you that Indians are considered to have this very spicy food, and the reason behind is that this spicy food is not for the taste alone. There are so many beneficial effects, and these are some of the things which are common part of our food. If we are making anything, suppose the vegetable food or anything we are making, we simply add these, any of these, or some of these into the preparation. For example, cardamom, which is called as the elaichi, chili powder, cinnamon, clove, and coriander. These are the part of our spices. But not only for the taste, they are having several medicinal properties also. For example, this cinnamon that can be used to reduce the cholesterol level. Clove is used for this toothache as well as sore gums. This is also beneficial into the digestive problem, cough and cold. Coriander is very much beneficial into the aching joints as well as rheumatism, and so many other factors. For example, chili, whether that is lal mirch or hari mirch, they are very much effective in decreasing the level of cholesterol also. And this bishop's weed, which is called as the ajwain, this is antiseptic, preservative, and this is also having some beneficial effects into the respiratory as well as the gastrointestinal elements. This nutmeg, pepper is responsible to cure this muscle pain as well as the digestive problems. And this saffron, this is a very good component of so many herbal preparations that can be used for the cough, cold, as well as asthma. And again, this fenugreek, star anise, garlic, ginger, these are some of the components which are the part of our daily food habits. The reason of talking all these things is that these components, they can simply increase our immunity. Presently, the situation is that we cannot encounter COVID with the vaccines or with the drugs because there is no specific treatment. The simple thing is that if you can increase your immunity, you can boost your immune system, at least you will have the power or you will have the strength to encounter this disease. Generally, earlier it was considered it is just a flu-like symptoms or flu-like disorder which will cure itself. But now, due to the severity of the drug, we should increase or we should stimulate our immune system so that our body is having enough strength to encounter this disease. I think I will sum up here and I have given my part. If you have any questions, you can text me these questions. I will happy to answer these things. Thank you very much for your patience and listening me.
Thank you, Dr. Daya, for this wonderful session. I could say that you have very nicely explained the ideal characteristic of an immunomodulator, as well as you have also taken care that all the natural immunomodulators that we are using in our daily life, they should be properly explained. So this is going to be very useful. Along with that, I can see that most of the students and participants, they have given good compliments, good presentation, very informative session, etc. But there are certain questions too. So there is one of the question that is there any report on the correlation of single immunity booster status and the and its effect? Like one of the student, he or the faculty, he has asked, is there any so is there any report like that a single immunomodulator, natural immunomodulator has been studied for its optimum effect?
No, actually, this modulate, immunomodulator, if you're talking about generally or you are talking about
The one of the participant has particularly asked about curcumin. That what should be the optimum amount of curcumin that should be taken as immunomodulator if we take it as a single phytopharmaceutical for immunity purpose. Dr. Dhaya, am I audible to you?
I think there is maybe some error in the online that Dr. Daya. Dr. Daya.
Actually, what I'm talking about is that what we are taking into our food habit. That's what I was talking about. If we talk about the specific composition or the optimum quantity which can be used as an amino as we know that the phytoconstants are responsible for the activity of these plants or these drugs. If you are taking specific amount of this phytoconstant or isolated product, for example, in case of this curcumin, dimethoxycurcumin is considered as one of the major components. Curcumin is 92% present into this, and this curcumin is present into two forms. And dimethoxycurcumin is one of the significant form which is responsible for the activity.
Right.
And some of the doses, for example, that 100 microgram per kg was combined. As such, it was not used singly, but it was used in combination with other drugs, amino boosters. So it was found to have a very synergistic effect, 100 microgram per 100 microgram per kg of body weight. That was considered to have a very significant effect.
Yeah. So I think you have very well explained the query. And I would like to add that students can also think about this area, that they can optimize the quantity of the particular constituent also, and they could also see. Yes.
Yes. Carry on, Dr. Geeta.
Yes, and they could also see that if they are acting as immunoboosters, Could we use them as such, or could we use them as adjuvant with others? So it is going to be a good study for others, for the students and faculty members also. So it's a good question also. I appreciate the participant also for that. So was very nice session, and phytopharmaceuticals are always of interest for all the fields in pharmacy, particularly whether pharmacologist or pharmaceutics person or pharmacognosy or any other pharmaceutical chemistry. So they all work in this area. So this session was very useful for everyone. And in terms of COVID-19, I could add that if we see the situation of the world, then India is most successful in control of COVID-19. If we talk about number of deaths, that is survival rate. So this could be the reason that is we are using these kind of immunoboosters, immunity boosters in our daily life, and we are having very good immunity. It may be one of the very good reason for that. So all the best to all the participants, and thanks Dr. Dhaya again. Thanks Dr. Gurfateh. Thanks APTI team Punjab. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you. I'm very grateful and thank you. I'm very grateful and thank you, Professor Andeep Singh Daya, for your word, and Dr. Geeta, and thanks you very much for being active member of this space. So now I would like to introduce another eminent speakers of the session, Mr. Sudipta Banerjee, sir, Vice President of JESCO Healthcare Private Limited, Director Align Consultancy Services, Kolkata. And the session chaired by the moderate session and session chairperson, Dr. Jatinder Singh, Dean, Principal School of Pharmacy, Career Point University. And Dr. Jatinder has published the international as the various publication national as well as international. And he has the 4 book chapters in the credits. And Dr. Saab, they have more high indexation of the research paper. He has awarded with UGC Research Fellowship with the scene of meritorious student by UGC. Dr. welcome Dr. Savita ji, and welcome Dr. Jatinder, session chair by the Dr. Jatinder. So I request to the Dr. Jatinder, Dean and Principal of the Career Point University, Mirpur, kindly take the chair the session, this session with Mr. Savita Banerjee. Welcome to all. Thank you. Kindly. Dr. Jatinder Singh.
Thank you, Dr. Gurfateh Singh. Head of Thank you, Dr. Sir.
Kindly.
Is it audible?
Kindly unmute the audio as well as video. Yes, sir, audible.
Okay, let me unmute the video.
That's sir, Dr. Savita ji, kindly unmute the audio as well as video so that we can see you, Dr. Jatinder also.
Yeah, I did this.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Dr. Saab.
Right.
Okay, let me start. Thank you, Dr. Gurfateh Singh, Head of Pharmacy Department, Riyadh Bara University, Mohali. Good evening to all members. Let me introduce first. I am Dr. Jatinder Singh, Dean, School of Pharmacy, Career Point University, Hamirpur, Himachal Pradesh. I would like to thank the organizers to provide me this opportunity to act as moderator in the technical session of Conference of International Platform, especially the session in which my respected Mr. Sudipta Banerjee is delivering the lecture. So let me take the opportunity to welcome Mr. Sudipta Banerjee to this technical session of International Conference. Before starting the session, I would like to introduce Mr. Sudipta Banerjee. So, Mr. Banerjee is currently working as Vice President, JESCO Healthcare Private Limited, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. JESCO Healthcare is a leading international pharmaceutical industry in the medical health devices as well as pharmaceutical formulations. Mr. Sudipta Banerjee is the director of Align Consultancy Services Private Limited, Kolkata, West Bengal. Mr. Banerjee has more than 20 years of experience in various sectors of pharma profession, including medical devices as well as formulations. He is a former member of panel expert in Center of Entrepreneurial Department, Government of Gujarat, and Atal Incubation Center, Niti Aayog, Government of India, Gujarat. It is my privilege to share with you that Mr. Sudipta Banerjee is also a member of expert advisory panel at School of Pharmacy, Career Point University, Hamirpur, Himachal Pradesh. Mr. Banerjee did BSc and MBA in marketing and PG diploma in business and administration. He did a number of certification courses, and I must proudly announcing that recently he has agreed to join me as a member of my research team on the research which is based on some health-related issues during COVID-19. Thanks, sir. Mr. Banerjee has served a lot of reputed organizations like Soldier Medica, Switzerland, Matthews Medical, Switzerland, etc. Since the biography of Mr. Banerjee is not a single book chapter, it's a whole book to express. So creating not so much gap between Mr. Banerjee and the participants, I would like to cordially invite and hand over the session to Mr. Banerjee for his expert talk. Mr. Sudipta Banerjee, sir, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jitendra. Thank you, Dr. Gurfate. I think Dr. Gurfate, I want the screen to be shared, please. Dr. Gurfate.
Dr. Gurfate.
Yes, doctor,
Please
you can share the
allow Sudipta sir to share his screen.
yeah, Doctor sir, you can share. Dr. Banerjee sir, you can share the slide.
I can share this now. Okay.
Yes, there is a third button, screen now. Yes, you can share the slide, Doctor sir. Yes.
Can you see the slide? Is the slide?
Yes,
can
yes.
everybody see the slide?
Yes, Doctor sir.
It's visible, sir.
Okay. I think the slideshow.
Yes, sir. Now it's slideshow. Huh?
Is it okay now? Can everybody see that?
Dr. Jitendra,
Yes,
can
fine,
you
sir.
respond?
Is my voice audible?
Yes, everything is okay. Please proceed.
So I thank you very much. A special thanks to the Chancellor, Sri Gurvinder Singh, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Daljit, especially Dr. Gurfate, for giving me this opportunity to speak here. But unfortunately, for the last 2 days, I think most of the topic have been covered by, as is written here, the pharmaceutical care and management perspective of COVID. I think in the last 2 days, all the scientists and all the people, all the renowned scientists and people were there to cover the technical part of this. But one interesting thing I found today morning, I was in a session, and interesting because I found that COVID-19 is more clever than human being. So they have been changing the pattern in regular manner. And just now, today morning, I came to know from an expert opinion from abroad that COVID-19 is not attacking only the lungs, but it is now targeting the kidney. So it is a kidney-specific virus. So there are a lot of changes. So I will not go to the details of the technicality and the structure of COVID virus in my lecture. So all the points have been clear, like that, what is the envelope and the protein structure, protein spikes there, and the genetic model of coronavirus, how it started from the SARS, MARS, and 100 years before, but there is no remedy as yet. If we are fighting against it, I will just present not the technical part, my personal perception about this, a different thing. It is a relaxation for the students. And thank you, Dr. Gurfate, for giving me another opportunity to interact with your students, intelligent students. so that I can share with them. This coronavirus, sorry. This entire skin is visible, Dr. Gurfate?
It's
Dr.
visible, sir.
The entire skin is visible or there is obstruction?
Visible.
Right. So the coronavirus, as you was said previously, I will just tell a small story before I go to the presentation, because it is my perception about coronavirus. Just there was 100 people in a boat, in a ship rather, and the ship sank. 99 people died. Only one man who survived, able to go to a shore with a isolated island where there is no people living, no food, nothing, and he was found himself alive there. All his colleagues, all his friends died. 99 people died. So he was telling God, I have done nothing wrong in my life. Why you have given me, why you have put me here? Okay. He was expecting somebody will take him someday. 1 day, 2 days, he was eating alone. He was eating whatever fruits he was getting, whatever he was managing from the place there. He have with all the leaves, he have made one place to live. And with the stones, like the ancient people, he was just putting up the lightning something with 2 stones and then preparing a food. One day he went to collect the food away from his home. And when he came back, he found that his home is burning. He told God, he's crying, what should I do to you? Why you are taking so much of challenge on me? After some time, a group of people came who landed there in the island, asked him, do you need help? He was asleep. He woke up. He told, how do you come here? How do you need I will help? They told that we saw the fire burning. We thought somebody is needing help there. Then he's praying, God, thank you for putting the fire in my house. So whatever God does is for good. So whatever is happening as of now, from coronavirus to lockdown, is for the good. For last 2 months, we had a coronavirus, and corona is a very, very
Dr. Gurfate Singh, I think there is a network.
Maybe internet
There is
issues.
network
Dr. Saab will reconnect, no issue. Dr. Jatinder, kindly discuss the own view, and this is already, we are, dear participants, we are already in the last session, and I hope everybody is listening. There may be some online technical issue, and we will again, I think within 1 or 2 minutes, definitely Dr. Saab will continue. And this last session, Vice President of Pharmacy Council of India, Dr. Salinder Sra will come this session. So to conclude the conference, it is we are the lucky one, and you are watching here, and it is excellent. And I welcome to all of you from the core of the heart, and from the Riyadbara group of families. And I welcome to all of you again. And we will definitely, even Dr. Vikas Mehndi, the eminent professors from PGI also is coming. Dr. Smita Banerjee, Dr. Sudipata, I think maybe. So we have the speaker, next speaker. So maybe Dr. Banerjee is coming. Dr. Jitinder? Dr. Jitindra?
Yes, I am here, sir.
Dr. Jitendra, kindly discuss the own view 2 or 3 minutes regarding the herbal preparations for this COVID-19. Dr. Sahab is coming. Dr. Sudipta Banerjee.
Okay. So, Dr. Gurfateh Singh, Professor Randeep Singh Daya has already discussed in a very, in fact, vast or elaborative way the role of herbs and herbal products in the management of that as an immunity booster as well as antimicrobial agents. So, during that session, on behalf of Professor Randeep Singh Daya, I invite the questions which were left if unanswered. So
Dr. Jitendra, can you hear me? Dr. Jitendra?
Yes.
Dr. Jitendra,
Now,
can you hear me?
now it's audible, sir. Audible.
Dr. Gurfateh, can you hear me?
It's fine, sir, now.
Yeah, hello?
Please continue, sir. It's fine.
Dr. Sahab, continue.
Yes. So I was in a story where there was a people who lost. Did you hear that story? No. So we are going to the part that he was lost in an island and suddenly he was thinking God did not help me at all when his house was burned. That time a group of people came to save him. And that time he was telling God, thanks for burning my house. Otherwise they could not have seen the fire and would have come not save me. So whatever is happening in our life is for the good. So in the last 2 months, the only word we are hearing most of the time in the humanity is Corona. We are living in the history. Our grandchild, their grandchild will speak of this moment we are living in. Because we are living in the history now. So whatever we are doing now will be historic. So 2020, the year 2020 is the year in which the first time in the history, the survival, we are surviving will be acknowledged as our achievement. If we survive, that is our achievement. So it's a time to wake up. It is a wake-up call. If you ask the God, that God, please save us from Corona, then what God will say, God will say that Corona is a living being, you are a living being. Why I will kill a living being for a living being. You have to save yourself. You have to save yourself to get rid of Corona. I will not save you from Corona. That's why God also have removed from us. So, hello. The microorganism invisible in the naked eye has shaken the world. It is a rare opportunity through all these lockdowns to pause ourselves and ask some existential question to ourselves. Are we really happy in doing whatever we are doing in our daily life? Are we taking everything for granted in our lives? We have taken everything for granted that in our life, take it is that everything will go like this as we are. What is happening? When there was no imposed social distancing, we were living a life of separation ourselves and selfishness in the race of the life, race of our profession. We have to cross this. We have to do something better than that person in their life. We are just in the race of life. We are given a pause. We were also into the social distancing. Now we are not into social distancing. We are into physical distancing. So separation-driven consciousness has its own repercussion, definitely. We cannot lead a life in disconnected state of consciousness. More disconnected we are, more chaotic the world will be around us. Nature experiments, friends. How does nature experiments? Nature discards the species which does not support the whole. I repeat, nature discards the species which does not support the whole. There are some species like rhinoceros, saber-tooth tigers. There are some species which are already discarded. Some species live for around lakhs of years, some for 10 millions, more than 10 millions of years. But all these species, they have one thing in common. They kill other species only for the sake of when they're hungry or when they're afraid. But what is the human being? The Homo sapiens? What they're doing? We are the we are the evolved species of today. We think we can do anything, from adoptive science to going to a different planet, sending rockets. We can do anything. That is our perception. Yes, we can. We can only do if we accept, enjoy, respect, and love the nature and its creation. As the last speaker was telling, what is the nature's contribution for the prevention of coronavirus, from tulsi to different nature, the availability that the nature have made available for us. So if we respect nature, love nature, enjoy the nature, yes, we can do anything. But are we doing that? Are we supporting the whole? We the only species in the entire universe where we kill others. We kill other species to show our superiority or the dominance in the planet, or for pleasure. We kill other species. We want to show our dominance to the planet, that we can do anything. We kill other species to show dominance, not for our living. So it's a question. Is this coronavirus only a means to eliminate the human virus? It is a question to you people, friends. So coronavirus has imposed a forced isolation. It is a forced isolation. If somebody is found coronavirus affected, we isolate them, right? Now, isolation is not discrimination. Isolation is not discrimination. Remember, don't discriminate the victim. Don't discriminate the people who suffer. Who knows who is the next? The way you expect others to treat you is the same way you have to treat the others. The way you want others to treat you, you have to treat the others the same way. So isolation is not discrimination. We need to show compassion and not discrimination, friends. And we need to be beneficial to the whole. Then only we as a species, human being, expected to survive. If we serve for the whole, we live fighting with each other only for sake of showing our superiority, and with our ego, we have to live with compassion. So now we're coming to the main subject where the students may be waiting for me to speak on. But before speaking into going to a professional aspect of pharmacy and industry needs, I want to say one thing: you have to be a good person before you become a good professional. To become a good person, you have to think of a whole, because previously, from some families, they should don't teach your friends how to become first. You have to become first. You have to become first with yourself. First, you have to manage yourself. Without managing your inner management, you cannot manage the research. You cannot manage science. You cannot manage your money. You cannot manage your dream without managing your inner self. If you manage without managing inner self, it will be by accident. And anything by accident is a calamity. So friends, pharmacy as a career, my bird's eye view, is a basic thing, but try to get into the subject in a very specific terms while interacting with the pharmacy students in different places. Whatever basic feedback I got, I'm just narrating that in the slides. That will help you to understand what the pharmacy. So before you go to the pharmacy as a profession, I want to quote the Steve Jobs, that anything you do, you should love it. Because in most of the presentation of mine, I say that there are 3 P's which I say: passion, practice, and patience. If you love a job, if you love what you are doing, if you love your subject, you slowly go inside the ocean. When you go inside the ocean, you find so many things to learn. When you have passion, you jump into the ocean. You forget everything. And when you go into the ocean, you think so many things to explore. You start learning. When you start learning, you feel that you are in the ocean of knowledge. Your studies, your degree, what you go into, convert it into knowledge now. The knowledge gives you the confidence to go ahead and achieve your dream. But you have to have the patience, because I told in the last time when I met you friends in your university that like a bamboo tree which takes 5 years to shoot up, but after it shoots up, within a week it shoots up to so long a fate. So it's like a bamboo tree. You have to have the patience. No matter what the world says, if world criticizes you, hear from one eye and live from one ear. From one ear you hear and one ear you live. If the world says you, well, very well done. World, you tell the world that khel baki hai. So you develop your self-esteem to such an extent that you know what you are doing, respect your work, respect your knowledge. You have to grow a mindset, because when I interact with the pharmacy students, most of the students ask me, why we are so underpaid, sir? Why we cannot do? You have to just reset your mindset, because there was a study in the Stanford University by the second. That study shows there were 2 types of mindset: with a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And with the growth mindset, you embrace the learning opportunities. So mindset are not static, and with the persistence, effort is modified. So the pharmacy educators need to shift the mindset of the students towards the growth mindset. You should show them the opportunities ahead, which I'm going to present in a basic form in some of the slides today, in order to promote. I enter a common question which asks me, what should I do after this? After the pharmacy is over? After the pass out? Will I get a proper recognition after the completion of the D Farm, B Farm, M Farm, or Farm D, whatever I'm doing? Should I get the desired package, or should I have the social respect which I am expecting? Should I go for the higher studies and research for more stability, or MBA? Which should I do MBA? Should I go for business of my own? Should I go for a government job? All these common questions which come from the students generally to me. Do not know in the world, as per the World Health Organization, there are 2.6 million pharmacists and about 10 lakhs of that in India now. So the scope of pharmacy and the pharmacy practices as of now is for 90 years, the pharmacy profession has started from 1931, from the introduction of the Drug Inquiry Committee and so on. The field of pharmacy can be divided into 3 primary disciplines. One is the pharmaceutics, the medicinal chemistry, and the pharmacognosy. So if you have the 3 types of divisions, pharmacognosy, medicinal chemistry, and the pharmaceutics. The scope of pharmacy practice includes more traditional roles such as compounding and dispensing. That was the traditional concept of the pharmacy students, and that's why they are feeling bogged down that no, I have to do compounding or dispensing. They have been tied up with the family or the friends that pharmacy means only compounding and dispensing, no friends. The world has changed a lot. Now the pharmacy includes the clinical service, review medication, and providing drug information. There are 3 broad activity sectors that there, like health sector, health science, and the chemical science. So I divided the entire pharmacy profession, 24 pharmacy profession, like retail pharmacy profession, hospital pharmacy, the industrial pharmacy, the government services, as I told you, which is a broad term, pharmaceutical education services, which is going to come up very strongly after the COVID, nuclear pharmacy, the community pharmacy, the clinical pharmacy and research, quality pharmacy and analysis, research and development, sales and marketing, medical device safety requirement, which is my core in my Jesco healthcare now. So the ambulatory care pharmacy, the compounding pharmacy, consultant pharmacy, internet pharmacy, the veterinary pharmacy, military pharmacy, pharmacy informatics, specialty pharmacy, pharmacovigilance associate, analytical chemist, quality control officers, pharmacoeconomics researchers, and health regulatory affairs. So maybe this is now the best time to think out of the box and utilize the pharmacy degree, whatever you have, in a different way. Yet in a way that opens a new opportunity that some may not have expected to come across in the entire life. So the academia is one of them which is coming out, the sports pharmacy, the journalism which is coming out, the regulatory affair which I told you is coming out in a different form, the science and medical writing which is coming out in different form, and progress analysis that is in different countries, they are taking pharmacy as the finance sector. Why the research is going on now? But you have to find that it says that Coca-Cola was invented by a pharmacist. So you have to think beyond the boundaries to utilize your professional information and professional expertise into applied knowledge which is beneficial to all with open mindset. Anything can possible. I'm asking 3 burning questions to all the students and all the participants, everybody who is hearing this session of mine. Why a pregnant woman should die every 12 minutes after childbirth in India? Why 3 lakh children die the day they're born in India? Why 1.2 million babies die before they celebrate their first birthday in India? This is only 3 questions I'm putting to the budding pharmacist to just give you an idea of the opportunity you have, how much you can serve your country, serve the nation, serve the world. You answer these 3 questions. Why we will face this in India? Because in India, we need minimum 3 lakh gynecologists. We have less than 50,000 as of now. Out of that 50,000, 60% of the babies are born in rural areas, where the practicing doctors from the urban aren't have the mindset to go to the practice in that rural areas. We need minimum 2 lakh anesthetists. Now we have, it's a spelling mistake, we are around 45,000. We need 2 lakh pediatrician. We have less than 35,000. We need 1.5 lakhs radiologists minimum. We have around 10,500. So our country does not require additional budgetary allocation, friends. What our country actually requires is liberation of nursing and paramedical education. First, this country requires the proper utilization of the pharmacist in patient care.
Dr. Banerjee,
Yes.
kindly,
Yes.
voice is not clear. Kindly 1 minute. Everybody, anybody, their chat session, the voice is not clear. Kindly, anybody, Dr. Jitinder Singh, the doctor's voice is clear. Dr. Jitinder Singh, the voice is clear of Dr. Singh.
Dr. Gurfateh Singh, it's okay. We are hearing Mr. Banerjee.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for interruption, Dr. Banerjee. Sorry, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
It's fine.
So our country does not require the additional budgetary allocation. This country requires liberation of nursing and paramedical education. This country requires proper utilization of pharmacists in patient care. Why? Because all the other countries, what you see in Australia, what they're doing, they're paying remuneration to the Australian government for conducting the comprehensive home medicine to the pharmacist. In Canada, the pharmacists in certain provinces have limited prescribing rights, and they are remunerated for that. In United Kingdom, they are used in such a way, they also have a prescription right, undertake additional training for obtaining a prescription right and the medicine use review. In Scotland, the same thing. They can write prescription in Scottish registered patient. Same thing in United States. Hello, can you hear me? There is a disturbance.
Yes, no, there is no disturbance.
Okay.
Sir.
So expanding into direct consultation in the United States, they have formed a segment called senior care pharmacy. So they are utilizing the pharmacist into the patient care segment very aggressively. India need to think on that aspect very seriously. So in India is reforming because as a part of Niti Aayog, they are thinking on that part of reforming and utilizing the pharmacist into the patient care in a very active form in all levels to make up for this doctor deficit. So the pharmacist is going to the patient care scheme with the medication therapy management, that is MTM. In addition to patient care, pharmacist will be focal point for medical adherence initiative. There is integrated pharmacy-based initiative. So there is a research, we study NIH research, which have told that pharmacy-based intervention improved patients' medication adherence rate by 2.1% and increased physician initiation rate by 38% compared to control group. So when I come to the COVID, you can well understand with this how important your profession is as a student, as a professional, how important it can be. So open your mind and think, in the next generation, COVID will not leave us. As Dr. Jitendra said, that there is a research work which is going on, a paper, that how the COVID will affect the fear psychosis and in our mind. So it is come, many doctors told me that it will be, psychiatrists told that it will be there for 3 generations. So we have to live with COVID now. So it is the role of pharmacists, how to come. So we have to embrace the bad news to learn where we need the most improvement. This is the moment. Instead of thinking what to do, what will happen, all negative, no. This is the moment. Embrace the bad news to learn where we need the most improvement. There are 7 probable effects of COVID-19 on pharmaceutical industries. The cost of the raw material and the drug is supposed to be increased because we were dependent on some countries like China for the raw material and drugs. So chances that there will be sudden rise in the raw material which already been affected now. The supply chain for the drugs, for the branded drugs, it will not be a problem, but for the generic, yeah, there will be they have marginal profit, then the supply chain may be affected. And the inventory may range from 1.5, the shortage of inventory, drug shortage may range from 1.5 to 3 years. There will be a lot of changes in the FDA policy. We are expecting that the relaxation in the number of inspection definitely to simplify processes and the review process of generic medicines. Data analyst and the analyst there will be changes in the process of clinical trials and the drug developments because it takes a lot of years for the predictive. They will go for predictive analytics now. So real world data, there was one cost of one development of new drug. The scientists know definitely how many $1 million, minimum $3 million in thousands of people there. So by 2021, as per the decision of this policy makers, it is told that by 2021, most of the companies will use the real world data to reduce the cost and time and manpower for this. So there will be a new perception change, absolutely different type of approach towards the development of product implementation so that common people don't suffer. Digital health will be definitely the upcoming thing. Investment on the online portal like telemedicine, and that because of this social distancing or physical distancing, as I say, there will be many things which will come in terms of the medical education, in terms of treatment to doctors, telemedicine, doctor-patient interaction. There are a lot of changes we will see in the next decade. So primary and secondary market, companies will be reassess their strategies on the primary and secondary market on manufacturing. So the pharmaceutical company don't have to worry because in this COVID, some of the pharmaceutical companies showing a positive growth on the stock market. Scope for the innovation in the infectious disease, there's a lot of scope. So some of the pharmaceutical company in this bad situation in the stock market, they are showing a growth. So as my Prime Minister, our Prime Minister said a few months before, that India will be the pharmacy of the world. And there was our discussion in the media also in different places that India will be the pharma powerhouse by 2021. And after the COVID, when there was a review meeting, they told there is no defocus from the vision of India becoming the pharma powerhouse. So the potential of the pharmacologists and the pharmacists and the pharma professionals have not only enhanced, but given a new dimension to you. So effect of COVID-19 on the pharmacist, what will happen? Pharmacists in this COVID situation, they have become the first point of contact. So the public health, they have provided and providing huge amount of support to the society and to the humanity as a whole. So the community pharmacists and their teams are the vital healthcare provider during this outbreak. So trial service has emerged as a supportive modality in this time of crisis, which includes the pharmacist along with the primary healthcare workers. So the International Pharmaceutical Federation have issued a pack of 10 summaries for the guidelines of COVID-19, which is available in the website. So to sum up, to end up my talk today, as an industrialist, as well as I'm a core domain of human engineering, as an industrialist of pharmaceuticals, as well as the medical device, I will just guide the students what is really genuinely on a gross required from you by a industry to become a successful entry to the industry. I found from the website that some of the students have got an entry in a very big pharmaceutical industry from your university. I was just checking today morning. I congratulate them, but the basic requirements for getting into an industry is that I require before I go to this slide, there are 3 types of people. I hope I have 5 minutes time. So there are 3 types of people who are there to serve the industry. One who thinks that I will, after the study, I will do a lot of things, who have a lot of dreams, who sits behind the swimming pool, and every day he thinks that I will swim. But in their entire life, he does not swim. He only sees other people swimming with the swimming costumes. But he always thinks next day he will swim, but he never swims. Second type of people is that who sees the beautiful people swimming there and suddenly jumps into the swimming pool without knowing anything. And after somebody saves him from the water, he tells the entire world that swimming is a very tough job. Don't go for swimming. And the third category of people, after getting the desire to swim, as I told you in the 3P model, just puts his leg in the water of the swimming pool, in the shallow water, then goes for a teaching of swimming pool, learns swimming, and this category have a capability at the prospect for crossing the English Channel. So friends, while you project your dream, while you enter the profession, you have to analyze the why. You have to do the self-analysis and the need analysis of the company, which matches your domain as well as the domain of the organization where you both intend to enter, the industry or the organization. You need to have a positive attitude, sound applied knowledge on the subject, proactive in nature. You need to be proactive in nature, active, think beyond the line. If there is a problem in the company, think of solving it. How to give solution, not the problem. Don't come with problem in your life. Always when you interact with your friend, with your family, with your professors, with your students, the professor with the students, don't ask the problem. Don't use the word problem for 1 year. See the magical change in your life. Don't use the word problem for 1 year in your life. You tell it in a different way. Don't use the word problem. The life will change. So the proactive nature, crisis management skill. Good team, you should be a good team member. You should help other people, as I told you in the previous slide. So with extracurricular activities, people will know what are the extra things, whether your focus is good, but whether you know the utility of this focus of your subject to other places. Communication skill definitely is an important thing nowadays, very much important, how you communicate, because 70% of the subject, what you intend to communicate, in genuine sense, it does not go. Your body language, your non-verbal communication plays 65% of your communication. So that is a different subject. When I get a chance, we'll speak on communication skill, which is a very important parameter for the students and for the people who are entering the profession. The analytical skill, whatever you hear, how to analyze, because our brain have a logical as well as emotional side. So how to use the balance of the logical as well as the emotional part of your brain, cerebral cortex, that is a very important parameter for your success. Think. Problem-solving attitude. I hope, friends, my presentation may give you some insight for developing a career and the basic perception of humanity and COVID-19. Thank you very much. Dr. Gurfate, Dr. Jitendra, Dr. Jitendra, Dr. Jitendra.
Yeah, I'm in. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. In fact, you have elaborated every sector of related to the pharmacy branch, and the theme of this session, technical session, was perspective of COVID-19 and future of pharmacy as profession. And thank you, Mr. Sudhita Banerjee, for enlightening the various job opportunities for the pharmacy professionals, especially the students who are doing their B pharmacy and M pharmacy, as well as MBA students, especially who are in marketing, pharmaceutical marketing division. Sir, you have explored the profession in a broader way: health sector, chemical sector, industrial pharmacy, nuclear pharmacy, clinical pharmacy, sale and marketing, and you have also involved pharmacovigilance, R&D, regulatory affairs, medical writing, all these various important sectors related to the pharmacy. And there was a good message in the presentation that only way to do a great job is just to love the work. That was really influencing, and everybody, every professional should follow this. I would like to add one thing in addition to that: love to work and respect to the chair is the key of learning and the success. So no doubt, pharmacy profession has lots of branches, and hence the job opportunities as well. Because pharmaceutical sciences has related to the drugs, drug manufacturing as a medicine sale, production, product development, R&D is well. Lots of branches are there in the pharmacy, but there is a lack of dedicated and skilled professionals still. So the topic is very much relevant to the existing condition of pandemic situation of COVID-19, as well as the role of pharmacists in healthcare sector. So I would like to add some more aspects in my way. No doubt, pharmacy profession has lots of branches, and hence job opportunities in respective branches or sections. There is a lot of dedicated. There is lack of dedication and skill professionals. What we have found as a placement dean in cooperative studies and placement center, what I received feedback from the industry, even not even pharmaceutical industry, but all the industries which are IT-based industries, automobiles, pharmaceuticals, almost industries have the same type of feedback that there is a lack of dedication and skill professionals. The students which are going for to face the interview have not a proper mindset. So whether it is related to the stock and retail of medicine, medical devices, and other related items as a pharmacist, control and management of drugs, medicine, and related items by drug control officer. So all the healthcare sector personnel in the area of drug and medicine and drug and related items would be taken part in the actively taken part in the condition of COVID-19 pandemic. So whether they are working as a drug and product manufacturing unit, as a production chemist, as a quality assurance chemist, as a quality control officer, or in other different sectors of pharma manufacturing unit. So whether they are playing as a role in research and development as a scientific officer or a scientist, in drug regulatory affairs as a officer, in pharmacovigilance studies as a pharmacovigilance scientist, in academic sectors, everywhere pharmacists have played their role apart from their normal routine during the hard time of this COVID-19 also. And I must say the word for those who are in pharmacy profession that my name is pharmacist and you can reach me with the address drug. So that means whenever there is the word drug, that indicates the presence of a pharmacist. Our next generation or young students or young professionals should go for the choice-based professionals. I always deliver this message to my students that always go for the choice-based professions. And the choice shall be based on the skill one has. What type of skill you have, you should choose the profession. So it's not a matter of shopping an item for a general store. It's a matter of career, it's a matter of expectations, and it's a matter of life. So with these words, once again, I would like to thank Mr. Sudipta Banerjee and Dr. Gurfateh Singh for inviting me to this platform. Now I hand over the proceedings to Dr. Gurfateh Singh. Please, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sir, Dr. Jitinder. Thank you, Dr. Savita ji, Dr. Jitinder ji, and thanks for the session. Next session, we have the Professor, eminent pharmacologist, Professor Vikas Mehndi sir, and Dr. Additional Medical Superintendent in PGI. I request to the Professor Vikas sir and Chairperson Dr. Sandeep Goel kindly unmute the audio as well as video. Dr. Saab, kindly unmute the audio as well as video. Professor Dr. Vikas Mehndi sir is the professor in Department of Pharmacology, PGI Chandigarh, and Dr. expertise in experimental pharmacology and development of the nanoformulation pharmacogenetics. And Dr. has more than the 50 prestigious national and international award. Dr. D.N. Prasad Memory Award, Gold Medal in 2009 from Indian Council of Medical Research, and New Delhi, B.K. Bhargava Award, Gold Medal from National Academy of Medical Science, Colonel R.N. Chopla Award, Indian Pharmacological Society, and then Datta Award 2016 by Indian Pharmacological Society. Dr. Saab is a core expert member of I&D application. Dr. Saab already that editorial board member in the World Journal of Gastroenterology, Indian Journal of Neuroscience, Behavior Health. Dr. Saab authors a number of books and 60 chapters and published more than 200 articles, research as well as review in the international national journal. Dr. Saab already members of FDA committees, lot of even pharmacovigilance signals review committee member, biological task, DCGI, DBT member, Dr. Saab. Dr. Saab already members a lot of prestigious organization and members of the Board of Study of Naipur, Punjab University and DST Delhi's and DHR, Department of Health Research, Ministry of Health. Dr. Saab, welcome to this session. Dr. Professor Vikas Mehndi. And today, the peer session, they carried out by the Dr. Sandeep Goel. He is the pharmacologist from the College of Mastuana, sir. That department, head of Department of Pharmacology, Kal College of Pharmacy Technical Education, Mastuana, sir. And Dr. Saab is a very active member and centralized core committee member of APTI, having the lot of experience, a lot of research publication in the international national journal, and a lot of awards Dr. Saab have. So I request to the Dr. Sandeep Goel kindly unmute the audio and video button and kindly chair the session and kindly Professor Vikas sir, I welcome to this international e-conference. Thank you very much, Dr. Sir. Kindly.
Thank you. I think good afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Thanks a lot, Dr. Gurfateh.
Thank you.
I would like to thank all of the Riyadh Bara University team and the Vice Chancellor, Chancellor, and the whole faculty, and along with the Association of Pharmaceutical Teachers of India, Punjab State Branch, especially Dr. R.K. Goyal, Dr. Suresh, Dr. Gulshan, Dr. Sandeep Aroda, Dr. Baldi, for providing me an opportunity to be part of this conference as a moderator for the session of Dr. Vikas Mehdi, who is an eminent professor of pharmacology at PGIMER, Chandigarh. I welcome Dr. Mehdi and all delegates from different regions of India and around the world on behalf of the organizing committee of this university and APTI Punjab State Branch. In this period of lockdown and social distancing, Riyadh Bara University has organized such a wonderful webinar on COVID-19. It's really great that will fulfill the concerns of the society. I would like to share some facts about novel coronavirus disease, which is a pandemic disease and has infected more than 45 lakh people worldwide and more than 3 lakh deaths. And our country is also suffering a lot from this pandemic. Before this pandemic, coronavirus, we haven't heard much about them, but it is a large family of viruses which cause mild to moderate upper respiratory tract infections like the common cold. However, 3 new coronaviruses have emerged from animal reservoir over the past 2 decades to cause serious and widespread illness and death. There are hundreds of coronaviruses, most of which circulate among animals such as pigs, camels, bats, and cats. Sometimes these viruses jump to the humans, called as spillover event, and can cause disease. 4 of the 7 known viruses that sicken people cause only mild to moderate diseases. These can cause more serious and even more fatal diseases. There are 3 viruses. First one is SARS, which is SARS-CoV that appeared in 2012, and the recent one that is the third novel coronavirus, which is known as SARS-CoV-2. It causes this disease COVID-19, which emerged from China in December 2019, and it was declared as a pandemic by the World Health Organization. It spreads primarily through the droplets of saliva or discharge from the nose when an infected person coughs or sneezes. Most people infected with the COVID-19 virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without requiring special treatment. Some populations are vulnerable to this disease, like older people and the people with the chronic diseases like diabetes, chronic respiratory disease, cardiovascular diseases. The best way to prevent and slow down the transmission is to be well informed about the disease and its causes, how it spreads. Protect yourself and others from the infection by washing your hands or using an alcohol-based hand rub frequently and not touching your face, eyes, nose. And it is also important to practice the respiratory etiquettes. When you cough, you should use your flexed elbow. Scientists are well positioned to rapidly develop COVID-19 diagnostics, therapeutics, and vaccines. These projects include conducting basic research to understand how the virus infects cells and cause disease, and what interventions can prevent and stop the spread of the disease. Various scientists from National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases are exploring ways to treat and prevent human coronavirus infections by working to develop new antibodies, drugs, and vaccines. And there are ways to block the virus from entering the cells. Some delay the immune system response, and some block the viral replications. At this time, till date, there is no specific vaccine or treatment available for COVID-19. But within 2 weeks of discovery of COVID-19, some researchers from NIAID had determined that how the virus enters the cells. And within 2 months, sites had begun phase 1 trials of treatment, remdesivir, and a vaccine that is mRNA 1273. Researchers are working day and night for the treatment options of COVID-19 and are exploring various drugs like chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, ritonavir, lopinavir, remdesivir, anticoagulants like nafamostat, camostat, heparin, monoclonal antibodies like SAB301, and the combination that is REGN 3048, REGN 3051. Our Ayush department has also issued some advisories for COVID-19 for use of various herbs and homeopathic drugs to boost up the immunity. However, there are many ongoing clinical trials evaluating potential treatments. Dr. Mehdi is an eminent scientist and professor of pharmacology at PGIM Chandigarh, and I feel privileged to chair the session of a great personality. Now, Dr. Vikas Mehdi will let you know about the pharmacotherapy and management of COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Vikas Mehdi, please continue.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So, since there are lectures different for managing COVID-19, I'll just start with a background. I'll be speaking for 25 to 30 minutes. How India is handling, what is the strategy in managing the COVID-19. So if you see that strategies in terms of care or health system strategy, or in terms of in community and community participation and how we are going to follow it up. So one way you're looking at a national strategy, then in a state level, then in a household strategy. So everybody says that if you can make flattening the curve, will be successful. So initially it was, after lockdown, it was, looking like it was controlled, but since 3-4 days, we could see the number has been increased. So one thing is that we have to believe that since we have a limited medicine and also limited efficacy and also limited evidences, whatever we have evidences is all, most of the medicines it is under investigation. So that is why we have to be very, very careful in terms of other aspects like distancing or using sanitization or in PPE. Like if you remember being a student, if we ask what is PPE, earlier nobody used to know unless people who are in it or in an accredited process. But with this disease, everybody come to know what is PPE, what are the different type of PPE and quality. Everybody talk about that. That is one of positive move that people get. So we have to think about next one, then in a state level and house level strategy. That, as you know, that India has been divided, like looking at the number of incidents of the cases in a red zone or orange or green zone. So that is what a hotspot do or in a community. So that is why people are trying to flatten the curve and looking at the epidemic numbers. So when you see limited kind of facilities available, suppose if you compare with Italy with India, how many physicians per 1,000 population? So if you see Italy is 4.1 compared to India 0.8. Now in case of hospital bed is 1,000 population 3.4, or in India is 0.7. Or in estimated number of ICU bed, Italy is 12.5 and India is 2.3. So you can see that Italy has much better, but still we are reasonably doing good. So these are the issue that India, because 66% is in a rural part. So if you think that how you're going to manage in case of a contract with symptomatic cases or mild symptomatic or in severely symptomatic cases, so you can think about how you're going to observe. Earlier when we used to practice that SOP, that observation you keep for 14 days, those people require that medicine, we give the medicine, prophylactic medicine. So this is what, in case of a rural area, in case of a town, or in case of a urban area, or in a slum. So that practice is different at how to control these diseases. Since we have a limited testing capacity, then quarantine. So these are all done by India in community practice. Now coming to that, how you are actually managing as per management has been given as per standard operating procedure. I'll just give the brief of the management. Like suppose if you have a COVID-19 suspect, especially the patient develops symptomatic, those who are symptomatic, they have a fever with cough, and they have also difficulty in breathing, shortness of breath. Individuals who have undertaken, especially earlier, like we used to take that, okay, did you travel outside India 14 days, or in a symptomatic cases with laboratory confirmed cases, or person with a healthcare professional who are putting on a duty on a COVID hospital, and all the hospitalized patient admitted with severe acute respiratory, that we call it fever, cough, shortness of the breath, or the etiology have been found, or in case of it, many of the people who are positive but they are asymptomatic, and they have a high risk of contact with the confirmed cases, and that is most alarming situation, that they do not have any symptoms. So that is why they have been quarantined at least for 14 days. So in case of a direct and high risk contact include who live in same household, because of an Indian setup, they have a single room, because now they earlier used to think that when people sneeze, they cough, there is a droplet infection. But new thing, information come that it is also transmitted through fecal matters. So one has to be very careful that using the single bathroom, or there should be separate bathroom. Now, all these cases we divide into mild cases, moderate to severe cases. Now, you know that in case of a mild cases where they have a fever, cough, malaise, or there is a secretion from rhinorrhea or sore throat, or without they do not have any difficulty in the breath. So in that case, they can just call up the numbers and they can have a symptomatic treatment. But in case of a, those who are mild to moderate, then you have to think that what is the respiratory rate? Is it more than 24, or oxygenation? So oxygenation, if it is less than 94 in a room air, then you have a supportive treatment, like we give a oxygenation, then we start with the standard care with antipyretic or antacid, or if it is required, we give it antibiotic. So that multiple, like meter dose inhaler is been given with nebulization. And the first line therapy we start that as recommended by Indian Council of Medical Research, that hydroxychloroquine. Hydroxychloroquine, in case of a healthcare workers, the prophylactic is given 400 milligram on a fast day twice daily, then weekly till 7 days. Then second treatment is those who are close contact in a family members. So they are also given hydroxychloroquine for prophylactic. Now this is also along with azithromycin 500 milligram once a day for 5 days. So second therapy, we have number of antivirals. I'll talk about detail like lopinavir, ritonavir. So this is given 100 milligram BD for 10 to 14 days. Then it need to be monitored, because especially when you give hydroxychloroquine, as it has been written that you can only give with a prescription. It should not be a self-prescription. So before you start with hydroxychloroquine, you need to find out that if the patient having any concomitant underlying cardiac problem or in diabetes, because chances of hypoglycemia is very common, or if they have an allergy. So these are, and monitoring is very much required in terms of that they should not, like there is a chances of cardiac arrhythmia. That is why they need to go monitor. Now, in case of, patient having serious one, mild, moderate, serious, where we have to be very, very careful, acute respiratory distress syndrome. So there we are going to go for a ventilators. We maintain everything under intensive care unit. So here another supportive therapy it is given, maybe vitamin. I'll talk about in detail. So this is about in how we manage COVID-19 patient mild to moderate. So there are some policy. The policy you can think that, as I already told in the beginning, that country level, because initially we in a stage 1 where there are a lot of international traveler they came to India. Then it was in a stage 2, but we will find that if there is no travel history and particular person is become positive, there is a community space, stage 3, or when you find that school children, more than one person is positive of COVID-19, then it will be considered as stage 4. Okay, so that we need to prevent that stage 4, 3, and 4. That is what we have a policy decision, and all the measure has been taken according to that. Now, as I said, like earlier speaker had already said that how it came from Wuhan to all over across the world. So it is started in So that is what it has been already been talked about by many speakers. So I'll not go in detail. Now, when you see that management, the management is like in case of uncomplicated. See, typically when you say positive also, you do not have too much because these are some people they do not have any symptoms. They're only positive. So otherwise they can have like flu syndrome, like fever, cough, congestion, or the malaise. And typically in COVID-19, there is also one symptom that has been developed is one is loss of smell. They cannot detect the smell and the taste. This is a new thing that you can ask that these people also develop these symptoms. Second thing is mild pneumonia, where you get a typical cough and tachypnea, increased respiration. As I said, it is more than 24, or in severe pneumonia. That is why you need to be very, very careful in terms of how you're going to handle elderly. In case of acute respiratory distress syndrome, you need to be admitted. And the severe condition it comes is when the patient develops sepsis. So all where we have started like mycobacterium, some people have tried, people are trying to develop, BCG vaccination or immunization. There are already been studies going on in Australia, India. So these are for very, very severe one or monoclonal antibody. Now, as already been discussed, the general precaution, everybody knows that we need to keep a social distancing. You need to use, PPE. You need to use, sanitizer. These are common practice you have to do. Some of the point, like you might go into the net and say that can it be transmitted from animal to human, or maybe vice versa. So this is also need to be noted. There are a couple of data are there that it can be also transmitted from animal to human, and you have to be careful those in the pet. Now, talking about management is infection prevention, control, and critical and integral part. I wanted to make it more clear, like if you practice hygiene practice or use of PPE, there are a lot of people they believe that they only want N95 masks. So this is like if you say N95, that means 95% you prevented, 5% there is a chances. So this is only required that in case of you're posted in COVID area, but otherwise you can use a surgical mask, triple layer mask, and that is only thing is that you have to use as per the SOP that when to use, when to dispose. It's not that one mask you're keeping it and you are keeping it like visit for a long time. So it need to be changed, it need to be disposed, and how we are going to dispose. These are all should be all the hospital they have their SOP and they're doing as per the SOP. Now coming to early supportive therapy and monitoring. Like, as I said, that it developed pneumonia or acute respiratory problem. So it gives like oxygen therapy. Then you have a fluid management, then empirical antibiotic therapy, because there may be concomitant other, infection. But in case of sepsis, as per the treatment should be given. Now, over the period of last 2-3 months, we learned so many new things. Like recently, we came to know that there is also problem with thrombosis. So people have tried anti-thrombotic drug, anti-stroke drug. People are trying the anticoagulant. So if you look at that heparin, there are a number of clinical trials are going on heparin also. So these are the new information that because after doing that autopsy, people come to know that there is a new pathogenesis. So there new thing has come. One of the challenging in management of COVID-19 is that the serious patient, severe patient, they develop cytokine stroke. And that is why many of the people, they have tried so many anti-cytokine therapy, monoclonal antibody, corticosteroid, prednisolons, or methylprednisolone. So these are one need to be tackled at how to prevent the cytokine storm, because once it is developed, then it is very difficult to manage the patient. Other management, you can see that progressive of deterioration of oxygenation in the worsening cases, or in case of severe critical pregnancy. These are comorbid conditions. Like if you ask that you want to give chloroquine, or you start with chloroquine. In India, we prefer hydroxychloroquine. Now, in case of a patient with hypertension, in case of a patient with diabetic mellitus, because there is a when you give hydroxychloroquine, then if you give any of these angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors, how it is going to complicate it. So these are the queries are there, because in case of an underlying condition, it is difficult to manage compared to the healthy volunteers or younger population. And if you look at the patient of COVID-19, it is mostly 86% is because of there are underlying condition is there. Now, if you want to use an NSAID, which NSAID? Paracetamol, you do not prefer anything because there is a chronic renal failure also. So these are points need to be looked at that when you select the drug, because there is a limited evidence, and all this type, because see that efficacy and safety, there is, one side somebody will say that it is very effective, other side you say that it is limited efficacy, is difficult to demonstrate that efficacy. So we have a symptomatic standard of care with oxygen therapy, with mechanical ventilators, with in case of respiratory, the patient with COVID-19. Coming to the basic drug, now, that so many people say that why that we are COVID-19, maybe because we are malaria prone. So if you look at that chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine, because when you talk about selecting any drug, we always say that is the drug has an efficacy in SARS earlier, or Ebola, or now coronavirus, or maybe in the next time we can say hantavirus. Now all these drugs has been already found in vitro study. It is act as an antiviral. Now, if you look at chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine, they have a long-standing. It's used for a decade. Now, question is, when you compare with hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine, if you look at the preclinical toxicity studies where PKPD is done, so we also selected any drug you say that can be used for COVID-19. You need to also think of that how much this drug is actually have a tissue concentration in lung, or maybe in nasopharyngeal area. The reason behind most of the viral replication will be take place in that area only. So you have to need to know that how much concentration. So if you want to decide that should we give hydroxychloroquine or chloroquine, when you look at the preclinical toxicity studies or PKPD studies, you will find that on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, there is a concentration of hydroxychloroquine. And this hydroxychloroquine act as an antiviral, it is dependent. Compared to chloroquine, when you see chloroquine, it also acts as an antiviral, but it is a dose dependency is there. That you need more than 750 milligram of the dose per day, so then only it acts as a. So that is why that it has been preferred that hydroxychloroquine as a prophylactic or during the treatment of COVID-19. Now, I already talked about that there is an advisory that how to use it, but one has to be, very, very careful that there is a problem with cardiac arrhythmia. If there is an underlying, you should not prescribe, or there is an allergy, or in case of diabetes, there is a hypoglycemia. Also, in India, if you look at that hydroxychloroquine data, so we have more than 900 plus data or across the globe. we have more than 13,000. So here you could see that Indian problem is that hydroxychloroquine, the major common side effect is it causes anemia. So in India, we are more prone for anemia, so one has to be careful for use hydroxychloroquine. Second thing is azithromycin, it is given as a concomitant therapy. But here also one has to be careful that azithromycin also been prone to have cardiac arrhythmia or ventricular cardiac. So if there is underlying any cardiac problem, one should avoid this and monitor, aggressive monitoring should be done with. So these are some issues that how we are going to use hydroxychloroquine and how long it should be used. Healthcare professionals who are posted in COVID-19 or during the screening area, or in case of those who are a close contact with family members, so they can, but it is a prescription only. And one need to be also very clear that this is not recommended in case of children less than 15 years or 12 years. So one has to be careful about this usage. Now there is an ample of, if you look at clinical trial growth or any of the registry, you can see that how many drug has been used for treatment for COVID-19, how many clinical trials are going on. You can have a pattern also, number of antivirals, number of monoclonal antibodies. People use mesenchymal stem cell. So if you look at that, how many trials, like if you take example of mesenchymal stem cell, there are 58 trials are going on. So there's a huge number of trials, is more than 1,200 trials are going on. So over a period of time, only will tell you that one will be more better. Now, if you take an example of lopinavir and ritonavir, there are a lot of cocktail drug has been used because these are the drug has been used as anti-HIV. It is an established therapy. So it is a type 1 aspartate protease inhibitors. Now, it is lopinavir and ritonavir, they have used in different doses, and normally they found it is efficacious. Some trials say that it has an efficacy, but that these are the drugs has adverse effect. So over a period of time, when you go for a systematic meta-analysis, systematic studies, then you'll get to know that how much efficacy is there compared to, because you are going to always compare to the standard therapy. Compared to the standard therapy, is it better? And all the trial is the design of the trial, or whether it is a randomized trial or open trial. So this makes a lot of bias that all need to be. Now, as I said, that adverse effect of lopinavir and ritonavir, because it includes GI disturbances, diarrhea, there are more serious side effects also elaborated. So in patient with COVID-19, adverse effect may be exaggerated with combination of this drug. So that approximately 20 to 30% patient it's also affecting the liver. Now, one of the promising drugs it is considered is ribavirin. Now, this is inhibit the viral RNA-dependent RNA polymerase and systematic review also that it shows that there is a clinical experience and is much better. So, in case of this COVID-19, it is also one of the promising drugs along with interferon, and this has been used in many centers across the world. So, only problem is ribavirin has dose-dependent hematologic toxicity, and it is given in high dose in SARS trial resulted hemolytic anemia in 60% of cases. So these are some problem with, and all that one of the important points, ribavirin is known teratogen, so it is contraindicated in pregnancy. Now, what about other antiviral? As I said, that many antiviral is used, but lopinavir, ritonavir, many of the antiviral is used. In India also, some antiviral is got an approval, the trial is going on. So one of these antiviral, you can take an example of favipiravir. It inhibits RNA polymerase, halting the viral infections. So this is over a period of time, we'll get to know that how much efficacy is there. When you go for a randomized control trial, you'll get an idea. Now, one of these antiviral, remdesivir, this has been promoted in US, that it is the one very promising, and it has much efficacy in COVID-19. It is a product, and it undergoes a metabolism of active adenosine nucleoside. But back with this drug is very, very costly. Whether we could manufacture or we can have it affordable in India, that we need to look at that. But otherwise, the studies clinical evidence shows that it is one of the promising drugs among all the antivirals. So current investigation, it is so that it is given single 200 milligram dose, 100 milligram daily infusions. So when you look at the hepatorenal profile, there we could adjust the dose, and there is a double-blind randomized trial has been done. So this showed that associated with this statistically significant clinical benefit. It shows, as you can see, the newspaper report that this has been promoted as a more promising over a period of time. Now, here is there are a lot of school of thought that should we use corticosteroid, should we use methylprednisolone. Now, as I said earlier, that this is typically the lung tissue injury or in case of cytokine storm. So in that situation, that people have used so many monoclonal antibody, and they could find that when they use monoclonal antibody, so when you look at some of the cytokine level, interleukin-6 and others, one of the most related cytokine, when you use a monoclonal antibody, that decreased level, it takes long time. And that is why people use corticosteroid, people use methylprednisolone, and when they use methylprednisolone, they would find that cytokine drastically reduced to the normal level, and patient improve symptomatically. So another mode of treatment is, as you see in a newspaper, there is a huge number of trial is going on in many sites, coordinated with Indian Council of Medical Research, plasma therapy. So this is a one 100 years back also, when we didn't have anything, people who are infected, they develop antibody, then this plasma was transferred to this person. So this is what that many centers they have tried. It recommended for convalescent plasma, but still that safety and efficacy will tell you when you complete a large number of patients. So this is one of this mode of treatment that plasma therapy can be used in case of moderate to severe patient. So a large number of data. It's not only across the globe. It has been going on. So plasma therapy is one of these promising. And other agent, if you see that have used interferon. If you look at that, what I said, that more than 1,200 clinical trial, you can see that it's not only hydroxychloroquine or a chloroquine. They have used many of these drugs. So with number of antiviral, then mesenchymal stem cell, or there are a lot of anti-protozoal. You can see Chinese herb have been used. You can see some of the that person used to give the soap in terms of herb, and they could find that there could be a promising effect. We have many of the herbal compounds in Indian setup, also complementary medicine, that also people are trying to develop in terms of in vitro study. Can it be or intern beta have been that many clinical trials they have used, and some of these biosimilar are used. As I said, that there is a problem with that seriousness is there, that when patient develops cytokine storm, so they have used that all the immunosuppressive therapy. So we need a cute one. Basically, if we see that you wanted to reposition the drug, especially when there is a pandemic situation, that you can go for a screening of existing database. We can also see that if you want to develop, you see that when you look at the coronavirus, there are sites. Is it acting through S1? Is it acting through S2 or N-terminal or S? So you can be very clear that how effective it is there, or binding capacity. Even if you look at that, if you screen all the antiviral, see that which antiviral is more promising. Like one of the examples, you can see that ivermectin. Then you can see that in Australia, they have used that ivermectin may be promising. But you need to also see that ivermectin may be promising, and it has been shown in vitro study. But when you extrapolate the dose, how much feasibility is there in terms of tolerability in human? One of the anti-protozoal like nitaxomide, there are 12 trials are going on. So many of these compounds are there. We can reposition, but we have to go tactically that how it is acting, and you can also scientifically generate data that how much beneficial in. I think there are a lot of medicine, or there's a lot of promising. I didn't talk about vaccine. There are more than 70 vaccines people are trying to develop. Some people are trying to have nozzle drop. Some are taking in. So many vaccines they are trying. But there is a challenging, like when you talk an example of dengue fever, or you take an example of HIV, still that vaccines will not be able to develop. So there could be a challenge, because if you see that how many of COVID-19 are being cured and there is a reinfection. If you take some of this, report from South Korea, there are 92 that COVID-19 again reinfect, or in China also. So when there is a chances of reinfection, then again you could see some challenges in developing vaccine also. So over a period of time, we are trying to develop very fast, maybe another 4 or 5 months. People have tried for BCG vaccination, so that data will come after 4 months. So time only tell you, but till then we have a limited medicine. With that limited medicine, you need to believe that social distancing, use of PP, judicious use of PP, that only can save us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mehdi, for delivering such a far-fetched and incredible lecture. He has explicated the possible pharmacotherapeutic and management approaches for COVID-19 in a highly structured way. So, queries are welcome if there is any query to ask from the expert. Okay, well,
I think Dr. Sahib, in the chat session, the students are written in the chat session regarding the query.
Dr.
there is no
Gurpata Singh,
query.
I have one question.
Kindly.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Professor Mehdi sir. You have
Thank you.
elaborated the issue related to the therapy of COVID-19. My question is, there was appearance of a number of viral threats in past, like chikungunya, Hydra virus, dengue virus, Nipah virus, SARS, MERS, etc. And some had already created pandemic conditions also. But what's new in this coronavirus in COVID-19? Why it is created so panic situation?
No, one thing is that earlier infection, like it was limited to one regional area. Like if you say SARS, it was located only in China and Hong Kong. Ebola was restricted to Ebola more serious. If you see, in case of Ebola, if you want to use PP, it need to be used triple layer PP, because it also been transmitted through the body fluid. But here it is only the point is that find that if you see the different 11 strain, you can see that what is the morbidity and mortality in different, Italy, Spain, or in US or India. So is that particular strain is there in Italy? There are 11 different strains there. And that is why that, again, already talked about the vaccine, that may be challenging into developing vaccine, because when you have huge number of population of reinfection. So that is limited. Maybe over a period of time we'll get more information. So if you look at the PubMed, every day there are 800 new has been adding every day. So last every night I used to check that again. So a whole lot of new information are there. So it will take time to understand. Any other questions?
What is the difference between the structure or genetic material in COVID, corona, novel corona, and SARS corona?
Exactly the molecular level I won't be able to answer, but there is a difference is there that we are only looking at that in our group. We are looking at a particular target. Like we have also done it for virus. How that particular drug can be acted. So there is a differences, but it is in a similar family. So when you have a new strain, definitely infectivity and the proliferation, these are the differences. And another problem is like suppose in SARS or Ebola or COVID-19, you could see that they can live in a surface for many days. So that's how that even if you are very careful, still there's a infectivity chances there.
Okay, that's how if we buy something from market, how much there is possibility that by putting that material outside the gate for 24 hours, and after using that item after 24 hours in our kitchen, how much chances are there to infect with the coronavirus?
I think that where best possibility is when you buy it vegetable and it's there in a running tap water, keep it washing, then you keep it, because in the freeze also it can live up to 3 days. As per the New York, one of the reports.
Okay. So the better way to use the products which we brought from market is to wash with the washing.
Running, yeah.
By keeping aside 24 hours and more, is there any?
Virus is heat liable. Like if you increase up to 70 degrees, within 5 minutes it will.
Kindly. Thank you, Professor Dr. Vikas sir. So kindly, Dr. Goyal sir, Sandeep Goyal sir. Sir, we have that worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Daljit Singh, and welcome our chief guest, Professor Dr. Shailendra Sraf. Kindly unmute the audio and video button. Professor Dr. Shailendra Sraf sir, Honorable Vice President, Pharmacy Council of India. Our chief guest is coming already for this validity session. So I request to worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Daljit Singh sir, Riyadh University. Kindly welcome the Professor, Honorable Professor Dr. Shailendra Sraf sir, Vice President, Pharmacy Council of India. Sir, my voice is audible. Worthy Vice Chancellor, sir. Worthy Vice Chancellor, sir. Professor Shailendra Sraf, Honorable Vice President, Pharmacy Council of India. Sir, audible? My voice is audible, sir?
Yes. I can hear you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome this the validity section. And I request to the worthy Vice Chancellor, sir. And worthy Vice Chancellor, sir, I already joined. My voice is clear. Professor Dr. Daljit Singh, sir, worthy Vice Chancellor, Riyadh University. I think so. I welcome from the core of the heart, Professor, Honorable Professor Shailendra Sraf, our chief guest. Already they are coming for this validity section for the concluding remark of this international conference. Dr. Professor Daljit Singh sir already arrived. Sir, my voice is audible, sir? Vice Chancellor, sir? Vice Chancellor, sir? I request to the Professor Vikas Mehdi, sir, please kindly stay. Only we need some few minutes for to concluding the remarks. All I request to the all speakers kindly stay with this validatory section. Professor Daljit Singh, sir, Honorable Worthy Vice Chancellor, my voice is audible. So kindly, welcome Professor Shailendra Sraf. Kindly share the few words with the public, sir. Actually, that questions raised from the public is already left because of the shortage of time during the inaugural session. So I request and I welcome and request to the worthy Vice President, Pharmacy Council of India, Professor Shailendra Sraf, kindly share the few words with the audience, sir. Thank you, please.
So thank you very much, Gurfateh Singh. And while I'm thanking you, it means I'm thanking Dr. Suresh, Dr. Goyal, and Dr. Bansal, all my friends for inviting me. And I'm really happy to see the success of this seminar. Normally, even if it is normal days, so this time success is not, we cannot expect. We have mobilized experts not from India, best institution, AIMS and regional research institute, but from US also. And you have covered almost all the topics. This is really very food for thoughts for all the participants during lockdown period. And you have covered not only contemporary issue, but Ayurveda, the reinventing Ayurveda, herbal formulation, phytopharmaceuticals. And I'm fortunate enough I could attend a few sessions. I've attended the session of Dr. Maggie also. I'm highly impressed, and I'm really thankful to the organizers and the university, particularly the vice chancellor of the university, Dr. Ranjit Singh, and other leadership that they have organized this activity. And I'm sure the organizers, the young team of Punjab, people have shown faith in you. So what I am suggesting to you that you please prepare a report and share with all the participants to website and all that. I'm sure you must be distributing certificate also. But personally, what I am requesting you, because I have seen number of good queries from the participants. There was time constraint; you could not respond to all the query. But we should attend later on also, if required. I can volunteer my services also. So we have to respond each and every query of the participants to develop this type of system in years to come, that we are responding. We are not just simply celebrating. And I'm sure the messages the delegates are carrying from this seminar, it must be, they will use this for their training and their research development of their research aptitude and service of the profession. So all good wishes for the participants, and my heartfelt thanks to the organizers, because this was the need of the hour, this was expected, and I believe this lockdown may continue for some more time, and this activity will not be the end, but simply end of beginning. You keep on connecting with through such platforms with the pharmacists, and provide them an opportunity to sharpen their skills, to know the expectation from the pharmacists, what they are supposed to know, and also develop some sort of competence so that they can contribute in years to come for different type of situation. So once again, thank you very much, Gurinder Singh ji, Dalpat Singh ji, and all the invited speakers. On behalf of Pharmacy Council of India and on my behalf, I thank all of them for spending their time and enlightening the all the participants with the latest developments and the specialized knowledge of their own domain. So thank you very much, and thanks goes to APTI State Branch also, Dr. Goel and this team for mobilizing such a good number. And all the participant fellow pharmacists, I salute all of you for attending such type of activity and transforming yourself. I'm talking about teachers into a good mentor. Realize that the classroom walls is no restriction. Now you are on the internet, through internet on a world platform, and you have transformed with a very small period of time into a good mentor, and it will pay the dividends to the academics and for their own success also. Thank you very much. And I'm once again requesting all of you to stay safe, stay blessed, and be productive for the profession. Thank you very much. All good wishes. Dr. Gurfata, you are.
Gurfata-ji, please unmute. Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. Dr. Saab, thank you.
Thank you.
And I hope if you have any questions regarding you want to ask the question, please kindly write in the chat session. Right in the chat session, I think Professor Dr. Daljit Singh, Vice Chancellor, sir. Are you?
Yes, Dr. Gurfateh, I'm here.
Sir, we have that Honorable Professor Silindra Saab, Vice President, Pharmacy Council of India. Kindly, welcome out, Dr. Sir, and kindly.
Thank you, Dr. Gurfateh, for giving me the opportunity to pay my thanks to all the delegates. In fact, for the last 2 years, it was a matter of pride for all of us that such a high stature people from pharmacy and other fields have participated in this international e-conference on such a very important topic. So on behalf of the Bahra University, Riyadh Bahra University, and the family of Riyadh Bahra, and particularly our Honorable Chancellor Sir Gurvinder Singh Bahra, I pay my thanks to Dr. B. Suresh, President of Pharmacy Council of India, who yesterday presided over the inaugural session. And I also pay my thanks to Professor Shailendra Sharaf, who was yesterday chief guest in the inaugural session. And just now he has given his concluding remarks also. That's why you are sitting in front of me. Please accept my thanks for sparing your time yesterday and today. It was really encouragement to all the staff members and students of Riyadh Bahra family, not only Riyadh Bahra family, but I would say to all the participants who are participating in this conference. Thank you, Dr. Sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Linda. Thank you very much for providing leadership. Thank you very much.
This was our privilege. So once again, I would like to bring on record my thanks to Professor Bhupinder Singh Poop, who was yesterday one of the main speakers, Dr. Rajesh Kumar Goelji also. And today I'm thankful to Professor Samba Reddy, who participated while sitting in America. And I was just noticing that the time in his state as Texas was almost 1 a.m. in the morning. So that shows the dedication, the sincerity towards the education sector by such a renowned scientist and who has given such a wonderful presentation today. I'm thankful to him also. I'm thankful to Dr. Suresh Kumar, today, who was the speaker, Professor Gulshan Bansal, Dr. Harkesh Narayan Yadav, Dr. Arvind Kumar. I may have forgotten the name of some of the participants, but that does not mean that the significance was less. I am really personally indebted to all of you who had made this conference successful. And at the end, I would like to thank all the officials of APTI with whose collaboration we are successful of holding this e-conference. Each and every one of the officials of APTI is really very, very proud participant in this one, and we are really indebted to them also. In the end, I must congratulate Dr. Gurfateh Singh, Dr. Rajbrinda, his team, all the faculty members, and all the staff members of the RBU who have worked for the last so many days, day and night, to make this conference success. And there are certain people who actually work behind the scene, particularly our branding team, our admission team, and our other officials also. So I would like to thank them also for working day and night to make this conference successful. And lastly, certainly, I'm grateful to our Honorable Chancellor Sir Gurvinder Singh Bahra because he was always a force of encouragement to all of us to organize such kind of activities. So that's you are sitting in front of me and all other participants are there. I'm really grateful to all of you for making your contribution in the success of this
remarkable international conference in the field of pharmacy, which is a need of the hour. Everybody is looking towards you people for getting some sort of medicine or getting some sort of vaccine for the remedy or for the cure of this unprecedented disease in this world at the present time. But I'm sure with the prayers of all the people, in the near future, we are going to fight with this coronavirus, and we are going to win over it. With these words, I wish everybody to be safe, to be well, and their families to be safe and well. And please take care of yourself and your families. Thank you very much once again to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vardi Vice Chancellor, Yadbara University. Once again, thanks to all the participants, and I vote of thanks to our yesterday Honorable Professor Bisway sir, President Pharmacy Council of India, Professor Siraj Sarafji, and Chief Guest and Guest of Honor Professor Binder Singh Bhog. And again, in the scientific session, we have the very eminent personalities as speakers, and Professor Anil Kumar. We thanks to the Professor Anil Kumar, Professor Thakur Gurjeet Singh, that is the moderator of this function. That next speaker, Dr. Arun Chandan, that is the Regional Director, RCF, and Dr. Naveen Chandan. That is also thank you from the core of art, moderated Professor Ashish Baldi sir. And Professor S.S. Sharma sir, that is from NIPER, Dr. Shamsher Singh Bajwa. And another speaker, I thank Professor Sambaradi from USA, Professor Sandeep Arora, and Professor Rajesh Kumar Goyal, APTA President, Dr. Paneet Kumar Bansal from the Central University, Punjab, Dr. Suresh Kumar, Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Punjabi University, Patiala, and Professor Gulshan Kumar Bansal from Punjab University, Patala, Dr. Haralikesh Narayan Yadav, and Dr. Arvind Kumar from the AIMS, and even Dr. Apindra Kanth from the AIMS, from the Medicine Department, AIMS New Delhi. And thanks Dr. Randhir Daya, Speaker, the Professor Dr. Geeta Agarwal, and Mr. Subita Banerjee, Vice President JESCOs, and Professor Dr. Jitendra Singh. And Professor, last we have that Professor Dr. Vikas Mehndi from PGI MER Chandigarh, Dr. Sandeep Goyal, and Dr. Rajiv Talian from BITS Pilani. And we have Dr. Apindra Kanth is also from the AIMS and APTI, all member official, President, Vice President, General Secretary, as well as the Treasurer, Dr. Gulshan Kumar Bansal. And we have then one that former presidents of Indian Pharmacological Society already. They have shared views. I thank you to the former President Indian Pharmacological Society, Dr. Dr. Dinesh Kumar, Dr. Mr. Satish Kumar, Pankaj, and Amit sir, all the team. Thank you very much. So kindly, all participants, thanks to the all participants, all my team, that is that Mr. Raibrinder Singh, that Harsimran Kaur, all thanks to the other my faculty and all colleagues, and especially thanks to the APTI, Professor Anil Kumar, who guiding us in the time to time, and effortless and with very enthusiasm, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, R.K. Goyal sir, and Dr. Suresh sir, already present. Dr. Suresh sir, Dr. Yes, Dr. Gupate. So, special thanks to the APTI member.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Stimulating environment. Thank you. Kindly feedback this session.